Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is my Premier League team of the season. We've seen some recommendations from experts and pundits. Well, you can get yours in below. Get yours in below. I'm looking forward to seeing the difference you go with on some key positions. But for me, starting off in goal, I'll have a big graphic for you at the end of my team. But starting off in goal, Alisson, I've said it all season. I've been very consistent on this. Look, David De Gea is going to win the Golden Glove. He's done a great job for Manchester United this season, despite the criticisms. I think Pope's been really good as well. Ramsdale at Arsenal. But Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the league all round, whether it's distribution, whether it's big saves, and he's had a lot of work to do in a poor Liverpool side for most of the season. But for me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world, and he's certainly the best goalkeeper in the league. I can't believe that anybody would go with anybody else other than Alisson in goal this season. Right back, it's a little bit of right back's a little bit of a disappointment because there's not that many. I mean, my club, United, Dalot and Wan-Bissaka have sort of split it, half and half this season. You look at Arsenal, Ben White's done a good job there. Trent's finished the season well with his attacking stats again. Look, Man City, yeah, I mean, look, they're going to win the league. But I think Trippier, for pure consistency, has probably been the best right back. And I think that's due. He deserves it, but I think that there's not been an abundance of really good right backs in the Premier League this season, and Trippier deserves it hands down. There's nothing more to say. My right-sided centre back is going to cause controversy, but it is Rafael Varane. I am pragmatic. On That's Football, I think Mo Salah is a fantastic footballer. He plays for Liverpool, the biggest rival. I've not put Varane in there because of red-tinted glasses. Admittedly, I do watch United more. I just think he's massively underrated. This season, Manchester United's defence has only conceded 8 goals at home in 17 games. We've got the most clean sheets. And I think that people focus on the 7-0 at Liverpool, and they focus on the Man City beating, and they focus on us getting beat at Newcastle. But that's 3 games out of 38. And, at the end of the day, how much is that on Varane? How much is that on Luke Shaw? How much is that on one individual when we all know the midfield and the attack just didn't turn up? You go to Anfield with no midfield and no attack. It doesn't matter how good your defence is. You're going to get smashed, and we did. Varane's been fantastic this season. He walks in for me, massively underrated, and I know people... Look, what I want to say is my other centre-back is Saliba. If I can just get him up on the screen. Saliba, I know he's missed the last... couple of months it feels like for Arsenal, but I think that exposes just how important he is. Since he's been out of that team, they've let a load of goals in. I think he's had a fantastic first season at Arsenal, and I comfortably would put Saliba in there. It amazes me that some people like Neville and Carragher went with Diaz in their teams, because I don't even think Ruben Diaz is the best centre-back in Manchester City this season. I think John Stones has been better. You could argue that Akanji has been better as well. I think Ruben Diaz is a lazy pick. I don't watch Man City, and Ruben Diaz has been good. Generally considered for the last few years, Ruben Diaz has been quite good. I think Ruben Diaz is a reflection that you don't really watch football that much, because I don't think he's had an amazing season for Man City. I think Botman's been better as well. So look, I'm very happy with my centre-backs. I'd like to put Martinez in there, but I don't think I can put 2 Man United centre-backs in there. That would be wrong. And I think Varane has been more consistent, even in game time, for Manchester United this season. Left back, look, I've got to go with another Man United player. It doesn't, I do feel like I'm getting a bit red-tinted glasses now, because, but we have had Man United's success this season, like Newcastle, is built on a strong defence. But we haven't scored as many goals as Newcastle, so we're really focused on the defence. So you won't see any Man United attackers in my team, but defensively, we're 4th in the league and we've been to 2 cup finals. So you've got to acknowledge some strength of Manchester United this season. I know people hate to do that, but our strength is our defence. So Zinchenko's been good. I've seen a lot of people putting in the people like Dan Burn and people like that. But I think Luke Shaw's had a great season. Moving from left centre-back to left-back, I think he's a low-key consideration for Man United Player of the Year. So I put Luke Shaw in at left-back. Argue it amongst yourself. And again, this one's probably the most controversial, right? My holding midfielder, whatever you want to call it, is Casemiro. It could easily be Rodri. I get that. If you've gone with Rodri, I don't even have a problem. I've gone with Casemiro because I just think that Manchester United without Casemiro are not in the top 4. It's as simple as that. We might not even be in the top 6. He has been the example as to why you need a holding midfield player. Rodri does it for Man City. Casemiro does it for Manchester United in a different way. And I think if you haven't got a good one, you struggle to be successful. Manchester United have a very, very good one, and he's fundamental to our team. So for me, it has to be Casemiro in there. This is where we say goodbye to any Man United players, because once you get outside the back four and the holding midfielder, we sort of fall away. Manchester City, De Bruyne comes into the midfield next to Casemiro. The thing about De Bruyne is I'm actually not playing him as the attacking midfielder. I'm playing him as the box-to-box because he can do that. I mean, I think De Bruyne is the most important player at Manchester City, and therefore he's probably the most important player in the league, arguably in Europe. His work rate, his consistency, his quality is unbelievable. And I'd just put him in next to Casemiro as a more box-to-box player in my Premier League team this season. I think he's been incredible. And then that allows me to play Odegaard as the more attacking advanced midfielder, who has had a remarkable season. For me, he's Arsenal's player of the year. In January, I was going to give him player of the year over Haaland. Obviously, the way the season ended, Haaland just never stopped scoring and Arsenal fell away a bit at the end. But I think Odegaard has had an amazing season for such a young player. I mean, I think he's a candidate for Young Player of the Year, and he's Arsenal captain. It's incredible what he's achieved this season, and I think he's, again, arguably he's a little bit underrated. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and walks into the Premier League team of the season for me. Right side of the team, I have gone with Salah. Again, it could be a little bit controversial to put Salah on the right side of the attack, but a little bit like Alisson, I do think he's had a challenging season, but still come through with incredible stats and performances in a really transitional season for Liverpool. It's hard for Alisson to not concede goals when the midfield and defence have been as shaky as it's been this season for Liverpool. It's also hard for Salah to hit the golden boot heights when he's playing in a team that's struggling to defend and the midfield's poor. You know, it's you probably go from attacking for 80% of the game to attacking for 50% of the game, and that's going to impact on your stats as an attacker massively. I think Nunez has suffered with that as well, and all Liverpool of attackers have suffered with that, but still Salah, I think, has had an incredible season. On the left side of the attack, I'm actually going to go with Saka. I know it doesn't make sense. I get it. It doesn't make any sense, but I think he has to be in the team. And as much as I was sort of thinking Martinelli or Rashford, I thought, well, actually, I do want Saka in this team. And it's my Premier League team this season. No one's telling me what to do. So I'm not going to do a Ben Foster and put Harry Kane on the wing just to get Harry Kane in. But I will put Saka on the left with that. He can play off the left. He can definitely play off the left. And he's had a really strong season for Arsenal. I think he reflects Arsenal in a way that he sort of fell off at the end. But the demands on a young, inexperienced team caught up with them at the end. I think we all know that. But the season in general and last season for Saka, the consistency is remarkable. So Saka definitely gets in for me. And obviously the striker is no surprise. It's Erling Haaland there. What a season it's been. Golden Boot winner. He's going to be Player of the Year. He could be in with a shout for Ballon d'Or, really. But easily. There's no. I mean, Harry Kane's had a great season. 28 goals in that Spurs side. Normally he'd be my striker, but that just shows you just how far and away Erling Haaland has been this season. Which means that is my Premier League team of the season. There we go. There it is. And I've got to say I'm very happy with that. I think there's a fair share. I mean, the funny thing is that every one of those players, apart from Salah, is in the top four. And Alisson, actually. Yeah, Alisson as well. So actually, I'm quite pleased with that. I'd like to have got a Brighton player in there. I really would, and there was a few I considered. But apart from that, Harry Kane's a bit unlucky, as I said, but I'm very happy with that. And as I say, I'm not just going to drop Ruben Diaz in there because he's considered to be one of the best centre-backs in the league over the last few years. You may as well put Van Dijk in there as well. I don't think Diaz deserves a place in there, to be honest. I really don't. I think Rodri could have been the holding midfielder. I agree with that. Left back's up for debate as well. But there's only 3 Manchester United players in there, and they're all around our defence, which has been the reason we're in the top 4 this year. If you look at United, we don't score many goals. So I'm happy with my team. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. But most importantly of all, get your 11s in below and we can all have a look at yours and let the debate begin. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you in a bit.